Welcome to yet another interesting episode of our use of English. Today's topic is word stress. Word stress. And I wish to remind all our JAMB students and those writing WAEC and NECO that this is a very important lesson for you. What is word stress? Let's look at our introduction. Learning English pronunciation can be challenging. One very important aspect of pronunciation that you must focus on is word stress. Stress can change the meaning of a word or make your speech difficult to understand. Take, for example, the word. If you pronounce this word as elephant instead of elephant, you see, that makes it completely a different word. So, what is word stress? Word stress refers to the emphasis placed on a syllable in a word. Word stress refers to the emphasis placed on a syllable in a word. Then what is a syllable? Very important. This is a unit of sound in a word that usually contains a vowel sound. This is a unit of sound in a word that usually contains what? A vowel sound. For example, the word cat has one syllable and one vowel sound. The word picture has two syllables and two vowel sounds. So we do not stress every syllable and we do not stress consonants unless they sound like a vowel, unless the consonant sounds like a vowel. Example, the letter Y when it sounds like E or E, as in the word physical, then that can be stressed. How do we know when and how to stress each syllable? There are three ways to stress English syllables. Number one, primary stress, which is the loudest and strongest syllable in the word. Secondly, we have what we call the secondary stress. Syllables which aren't completely unstressed, but aren't as loud or strong as the primary stress. Then thirdly, we have what we call the weak or unstressed. This syllable is not stressed. What's primary stress? This is the emphasis placed on certain syllables in a word that makes them more prominent than the other syllables. Primary stress phonemic symbol is an apostrophe. So if you see a word, in order to indicate a syllable that is stressed, there's an apostrophe placed on it in your dictionary. For example, in the word banana, you can see that the stress is on the second syllable. Na. Banana is not banana, but banana. Secondary stress. This occurs in long words and is indicated by a comma. Example, in the word organization. Organization. You can see the secondary stress here is on the first syllable, or you can see the comma right there on the transcribed word. So weak stress is where there is no stress at all on the syllable. The vowel will take the sound of the schwa instead of the full vowel sound. So how do we know how to stress syllable? How do you know how each syllable is stressed? There are 9 stress rules. As you know, in English, we will always have plenty of exceptions. But these 9 rules will help you pronounce most words correctly and also prepare you for your JAMB, WAEC, and NECO examination. So come along and pay close attention because we are just getting started. Rule number 1. Two-syllable nouns have the main stress on the first syllable. Example, we have the word picture. The stress is on the first syllable. Mirror, the stress is on the first syllable. Bottle, stress is on the first syllable. Cupboard, which is a compound noun, the stress is on the first part. So remember that two-syllable nouns have the main stress on the first syllable. Rule number 2. Two-syllable adjectives have the main stress on the first syllable. Examples, we have the word pretty, perfect, common, helpful. All these words are adjectives and they have the main stress on the first syllable. Rule number 3. Two-syllable verbs have the main stress on the second syllable. Example, provide, believe, decide, and begin. Rule number 4. Before we go to rule number 4, it is also very important for us to notice that very often the change of the stress can change the word class and the meaning of the word too. The following words are all examples of this. You see on this part we have nouns and here we have verb, and it is the same word, but you will realize that the stress pattern has been changed. Look at the nouns. We have the word export, we have import, we have contract, then we have object. While on the other side of the verb, the stress has changed. This now becomes export, then we have import, then we have contract, then we have object or object. Meanwhile, the noun is object, the verb is object. The second one, the noun is contract, the verb is contract. Here, the noun is import and the verb is the noun is import and the verb is import. Then the first one, the noun is export and the verb is export. So you can see that when you change the stress pattern of a word, it can also change the word class of that word. Rule number 4. Words ending in IC. These words have the main stress on the syllable before the IC ending. Examples are music. You can see the stress is on the first syllable. We have heroic. You can see the stress is on the second syllable. We have graphic. You can see the stress is on the first syllable. We have geographic, stresses on the second syllable. We have magnetic, stresses on the second syllable. We have electric. We have electronic. So remember that any word that ends with IC, the stress falls on the syllable before the IC ending. Rule number 5. Words ending in SION and TION. These words have the main stress on the syllable before the SION or TION ending. Examples include the following. We have words like invasion, pollution, education, conversation. So you can see where the stress falls that has been indicated by the apostrophe on the transcribed aspect of the word. Rule number 6. Words ending in CY, TY, PHY, and GY. These words have the main stress on the antepenultimate syllable. That is the third syllable from the last syllable. So we are going to start counting from the last syllable. You can 1, 2, 3, and that will give you where the stress falls. Examples are democracy, visibility, photography, psychology. You can see where the stress falls. Third syllable from the last. Rule number 7. Words ending in AL. AL. These words have the main stress on the antepenultimate syllable. That is the third syllable from the last, just like the previous one we looked at. Examples include physical, magical, hysterical. So you can see where the stress falls there. Rule number 8. Compound nouns. The main stress is usually on the first part of the compound noun. Examples: blackbird, greenhouse, bookcase. So you see the main stress is on the first part of a compound word. And rule number 9, compound adjectives. The main stress is on the second part of the word. Examples include old-fashioned, old-fashioned, well-known. So remember that when you're dealing with compound adjectives, the main stress is usually on the second part of the word. So there are many exceptions in English, so it is always important to learn words and know their grammatical class and their stress pattern. Take for example, the word educate is a verb, and the word education is a noun. The word educational is an adjective. Therefore, if you do not master your part of speech, it may be difficult at a point for you to understand stress. Therefore, I urge you to know the grammatical class of each word you learn in English language. Thank you very much, and I believe that you enjoyed the lesson. I remain Fumlak G. Allen.